Recently, Kyle Larson said he might skip Indy 500 qualifying if it clashes with the NASCAR All-Star Race in North Wilkesboro. Larson is planning to race both the Indy 500 and Coca-Cola 600, which are scheduled on the same day, May the 25th. But before those two huge events, there was a conflict on May the 18th. The day has both the Fast Six final qualifying round for the Indy 500 and the $1 million All-Star Race in North Wilkesboro. The Fast Six qualifying this year is starting an hour later than last year. That makes it very difficult for Larson to participate in both events. But still, why would one of the top drivers in the world skip a chance to start on pole at the Indy 500? Let's find out. If Kyle Larson qualifies for the Fast Six at Indy, he'll have to choose between staying and trying to win pole position or flying to North Carolina in time for the All-Star Race. Speaking to Fox Sports, he made it clear he would rather skip the final Indy 500 qualifying round and race in the All-Star event for a chance to win $1 million. He said that starting sixth at Indy would be fine if it means he can still race at Wilkesboro and possibly win big money.
I think that I would miss the Fast Six and go to the All-Star Race. It's important to race it. It's a lot of money on the line, so sure it'd be great to if you had an opportunity to get the pole, but I'd rather race for $1 million, I think, than and start sixth. But we'll see. I mean, you never really know how it's going to go, so got to make sure our car is fast enough to even worry about all of that anyways.
Last year, Larson made headlines by choosing to race the Indy 500 over the Coca-Cola 600 after a weather delay. That decision forced NASCAR to think seriously about how to manage such situations in the future. They even made rule changes to stop drivers from skipping major cup races. However, the All-Star Race is not part of the regular season, so technically, Larson is free to skip Indy qualifying if he wants to. This weekend, Larson is already doing double duty. He was called in to drive the number 88 car for JR Motorsports in the Xfinity Series after 18-year-old Connor Zilch had to sit out due to a back injury from Talladega. Zilch's injury is minor, but since he's so young, the team and his doctors want him to be careful. So Larson stepped in for the Andy's Frozen Custard 300 at Texas Motor Speedway. Racing in the number 88 car made Larson an instant favorite to win. On May the 3rd, he did exactly that. Larson won the race at Texas, adding another Xfinity Series victory to his record. But it wasn't easy. He had to battle tough opponents like his teammate Justin Allgaier, Austin Hill, and Sam Mayer. The race even had multiple overtime attempts before Larson finally got to victory lane. It was a hard-earned win, showing that even when he's summing in, he takes every race seriously. That win wasn't just a victory for Larson, it also helped JR Motorsports stay strong in the owner's standings. While Zilch continues to lose points by missing the race, the team gains valuable owner points, thanks to Larson's first-place finish. In total, Larson has already run 3 Xfinity races this season, and out of those 3, he's won 2. That means he has a 66% win rate so far in the series for 2025. Numbers like that prove just how dominant he can be, even when jumping between different cars and series. But we are waiting to see what happens next. Will Larson go all in for the Indy 500 pole or fly to Wilkesboro for a shot at $1 million? The final decision might depend on how fast his Indy car is during the first rounds of qualifying. If he's not in the Fast Six, then the choice becomes easy. But if he is, Larson will have to stick to his earlier plan and prioritize the All-Star Race. What makes this even more interesting is that the NASCAR All-Star Race is not a regular season points race. It's an exhibition, but it offers a big reward, $1 million to the winner. That kind of money, along with the spotlight of winning at North Wilkesboro, is something clearly that Larson values. At the same time, missing out on the chance to start first at the Indy 500 is also a big deal. Pole position at Indy is one of the most prestigious starting spots in all of racing. It sets the tone for the entire event. But Larson seems comfortable giving that up if it means racing in front of NASCAR fans at Wilkesboro and collecting a big payday. By choosing the All-Star Race over Fast Six qualifying, Kyle Larson is once again showing how he balances strategy, competition, and business. He's one of the few drivers talented enough to race in NASCAR and IndyCar at the same time. That makes every decision he makes feel bigger. For fans, it means more excitement, more drama, and more moments to remember. Whether he's racing in Texas, Indianapolis, or North Carolina, Kyle Larson continues to be one of the most talked about names in motorsports. Kyle Larson's win at the 2025 NASCAR Xfinity Series Andy's Frozen Custard 300 at Texas Motor Speedway was one of the most intense and chaotic races of the season. This race was already going to be interesting because Larson was stepping in as a substitute driver. Another early caution came from Josh Bilicki in car number 91, but during all this, Allgaier started to dominate. He took control of stage 1 by leading the final 24 laps and winning the stage. His number 7 car was fast and steady. Larson at this point was quietly moving up the order, showing signs that he had the speed to challenge for the top. As the race moved into stage 2, Austin Hill made his move. He managed to overtake Allgaier and pull away from the rest. Hill's car was the fastest during this stage, and he looked unbeatable. Then Chris Wright, driving car number 5, lost control in the final laps of stage 2 and spun on the backstretch. This brought out another caution flag, which helped Hill secure the stage win. Wright's error became a trend for him during the race. The final stage was total chaos. Right at the start, a huge wreck destroyed the hopes of at least 12 drivers. It included Josh Williams in car number 11, Corey Day, Taylor Gray, and Sam Mayer. All of them were out of contention after that, but somehow Larson avoided the mess, weaving through the smoke and debris without any damage. After the restart, Allgaier and Hill resumed their battle for the lead. Larson stayed close behind, just waiting for his chance. Sheldon Creed, who was having a strong run, got tangled with Jesse Love and Corey Day. Creed's number 00 car slammed into the outside wall, ending his day and damaging others in the process. When the green flag pit stops came, everything changed once again. Larson used perfect timing and pit strategy to jump ahead of both Allgaier and Hill. That gave him the lead for the first time of the race. Allgaier had led over 90 laps up to that point, but when he came back out after his pit stop, he ran into slower traffic. Chris Wright, the same driver who spun earlier, was again in the wrong place at the wrong time. As Allgaier tried to pass him, Wright's car either blocked or caused confusion, leading Allgaier to crash into the wall nose first. That wreck ended his day and removed one of Larson's strongest competitors. With Allgaier gone, Larson now had a clear shot, but the race was far from over. With less than 10 laps remaining, Corey Day brought out another caution. That reset the field yet again. On the next restart, Larson made an incredible charge. He moved up several spots quickly. Then Sammy Smith lost control off the nose of Hill's car. That brought out another yellow and pushed the race into overtime. On the overtime restart, things got worse. Jeremy Clements hit the wall, leading to a second overtime. That meant even more drama for the fans and more work for the drivers. But Larson stayed cool under pressure. He used his new tires to his advantage and made clean passes when the green flag flew again. He finally pulled ahead, with Taylor Gray and Riley Herbst fighting behind him. Larson crossed the finish line first and gave the number 88 Junior Motorsports team a big win. He stepped in for Connor Zilisch and delivered the perfect performance. Now before you leave, just don't forget to give you a like, smash that subscribe button, and also ring that notification bell for more future videos.